What up, people of the internet? My name is Plug to the Plug, and I want to tell you all a little story. Many years ago, my mom was able to buy me a PlayStation 3 with the hottest game on it at the time, Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, even though GTA 5 was fun, again, it was the only game I had, and I eventually got tired of playing it, and just it alone. So I told my mom, and she gave me $15 to go to the pawn shop to buy a new PS3 game. I head up there, and I remember seeing 3 games that caught my eye just on the cover alone. Red Dead Redemption, BioShock Infinite, and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. At the time, I hadn't heard of either of these games, so I just picked the one with the cover that looked the coolest to me, and that was Uncharted 3. The image of some guy hanging from a burning cargo plane in the desert setting holding a gun, now that's enough to get anyone's attention. As I go to buy the game, I don't think I was old enough at the time or I didn't have the proper ID on me, so some stranger ended up buying the game for me. And I don't know where he is, but I thank that man, because this game and this franchise as a whole will go on to be the catalyst for my love of single-player linear narrative-based games. I was excited to get home and take Grand Theft Auto 5 out and put this new game in, and once it was in and fully loaded up, and I got to that title menu and heard that opening theme song, I knew I was in for an adventure. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You've never even heard of the Uncharted franchise, but you get the 3rd game in the series? Yes, I did. And I felt some trepidation about that too. But in the end, Uncharted 3 was, funnily enough, felt like a sort of prequel in a way, already giving us a section with young Nate and Sully. So I felt caught up to speed in a way. I will be touching on several story beats, but this video isn't a full in-depth critique or analysis. I'll leave that to the professionals. Instead, I genuinely wanted to talk about why Uncharted 3 is so special from all the mainline games. When I first played this game, the first thing I noticed was how good the game and these characters looked. The story seemed intriguing enough, and the characters were funny and likable. Even funnier thing is on the PS3 version, I made it to Ramesses, and yes, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, ship before my kitty brain decided this was too difficult and I reverted back to GTA 5. Years later, when I get my PS4, I am gifted the Uncharted collection, and I have the chance to finally beat Uncharted 3, and boy oh boy was this game a treat. I know Drake's Fortune was the game that started it all, and Among Thieves is arguably every Uncharted fan's favorite, and A Thief's End is a masterpiece in and of itself. But Drake's Deception just stands out to me. Maybe I'm biased because it's the game that introduced me to this franchise, but even Nolan North, Nathan Drake himself, says in several interviews that Uncharted 3 is his favorite as well.
It was always funny. People ask, like, what was your favorite one to do? And I say 3, only because if you look at it like high school, like Uncharted, Drake's Fortune's like freshman year, nobody knows you, but you become popular. And then they like you. But then sophomore year, you captain the varsity football team, you're the prom king. It was like the greatest. So you know junior year is going to be amazing.
From the jump, this game feels more cinematic with Nate and Sully and that walk to the bar. And that intro resonated with me so much that it became the intro to my Savage Moments videos. By the way, go check those out after this video, of course. I got to meet our heroes, Nate and Sully, and some of Uncharted's staple characters, Chloe, Cutter, and the 3rd member of the Uncharted trio, Elena, well, a bit later. Uncharted 3 was especially interesting from a behind-the-scenes point of view as well. Cutter is cut from the game barely a 1/4 of the way through because his actor, Graham McTavish, had other obligations of work. Elena is also barely seen because around this time, her actor, Emily Rose, was pregnant. Funnily enough, completely opposite of that, with the involvement of Sully. See, one of Uncharted 2's biggest complaints is that there wasn't enough Sully, so we see him in like 80% of this game. You won't see me complaining about that. I love Sully. Uncharted 3 also had an interesting premise, searching for the Realm of the Pillars in the Rub al Khali Desert, all while avoiding this game's villains, Marlowe and Talbot. I like that this is the game with our first female antagonist, but even so, Talbot seems to be the more problematic and intimidating of the duo, but don't let that get to your head because Marlowe can be pretty frightening in her own way. Another thing that set Uncharted 3 apart from the other games was its huge set pieces. I mean, running on top of a collapsing building, trying to escape a sinking ship, climbing onto and falling out of a cargo plane and trying to escape a collapsing realm of the pillars are just some of the moments that make Uncharted 3 so memorable. But I also recognize that there are some people who believe that aside from Drake's fortune, this may be the weakest in the series, and there are a few reasons for that. Some think the story just isn't there, and a lot of things don't click right, and I think it's because the crew only had over a year and a half to work on the game, as Uncharted series was hot at the time. Also, another big reason is teams were split. While one half was working on Uncharted 3, the other half was working on a small indie game called The Last of Us. So it didn't have the whole team's undivided attention like the last two. However, Amy Hennig went on to win a Writers Guild Award for excellence in video game writing, and the game received exceptionally high scores alike. Even while doing a bit of research for this video, I found that most fans would put 3 on the same level as 2, with some arguing quality over story and vice versa. But both of them are unmatched in Uncharted 3. It's hard not to see the love that was put into this game. I mean, everything that Uncharted is, Uncharted 3 has. Going on another adventure with our hero in a vastly different setting with our lovable companions, the fun gameplay loop, and that dry, witty, wise-ass banter that Nate has makes this one of the most memorable Uncharted games ever. Now, I know I've been giving this game its flowers and praising it like it's the second coming, and I do recognize it isn't perfect. For starters, the villains. Sometimes their motives become hazy, and a lot of things Talbot does are never explained and honestly sometimes takes you out of the immersion. The final boss fight is easily forgettable, it's like a glorified QuickTime event, and so many things don't seem to meld together true. But none of those things deter you away from the game. In some cases, it even enhances your experience. This was also the first game that introduced me to the concept of ludonarrative dissonance, which is described as the conflict between a video game's narrative told through the story and the narrative told through the gameplay. Something that's extremely prevalent in the Uncharted series, to have our charming, witty hero slaughter hundreds of people and not think twice about it. Luckily, none of these things affect the player, and it's something that has always worked for the Uncharted series. And not many games alike can pull it off. What I'm trying to say is that Uncharted 3 is a great game, flaws and all. As far as combat goes, the gunplay is really engaging. Uncharted has destructible cover, which doesn't keep you in one place for too long and you're constantly switching between weapons. But the hand-to-hand combat, especially in 3, although very fun, kinda overstays its welcome. But these games don't thrive because of that. Neither do people remember Uncharted for its robust combat system. It's the story and the characters that drives these games. And it's in my experience that whatever game that was introduced to you first in the series, you look back more fondly upon than the others. And that was Uncharted 3 for me. And it even taught me a very important lesson in the end from Sully himself.
Look, I had a lousy father, a lousy childhood. I hit 40, I figured I was never gonna have a son of my own. Hell, I never wanted one. What the hell do I know about raising a kid? Then you came barreling into my life.
Look, you don't have to.
No, listen, I do. I have made a lot of mistakes, kid. A lot. And, well, I am not a perfect man.
You're not proposing, are you, Sully? I mean, I love you, but...
Stop. Just stop being a wise ass for 1 second.
How long you been carrying that around?
Too long.
Thought I'd lost it.
Here's the thing, kid. We don't get to choose how we start in this life. Real greatness, it's what you do with the hand you dealt.
I really appreciate you guys for coming on this journey with me and revisiting Uncharted 3. It's been so much fun. Let me know how you guys feel about Uncharted 3 down in the comments below. And is it your favorite game in the franchise? And should I do another like these for the other Uncharted games? Like I said, this wasn't a full in-depth review of the game, but if you want to see one, there is a brilliant creator I watch by the name of Luke Stevens, who if you guys watch my other videos, I shout him out a lot. He does a lot of in-depth critiques, really long videos, really high quality videos. I vouch for him. He did a full in-depth Uncharted 3 critique and analysis, and I loved it, and that kind of inspired me to make my own mini one, because Uncharted 3 is my favorite in the game, but he goes in depth on the, do you guys hear that? There's like a plane or something out there. I don't think I'm gonna cut this out. I'm fearing for my life right now. Is that the cargo plane Nate was on? Hear me talking about him. I think it's gone. Anyway, Luke's awesome. I vouch for him. I was like, Uncharted 3 is my favorite in the series, so when I saw that video he did, it's an older video, but I think, you know, link will be in the description to his channel. Go check him out. He's great, and it's just excellent. I'll leave it in the description. But yeah, like I was saying, I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me. Uncharted, or the Uncharted franchise is one of my favorite franchises and some of my favorite games ever. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, the Uncharted games are what pulled my channel off the ground. I've had so many, I was kind of milking those videos and so many ideas for Nate and that world, and I really love you guys for sticking around with me. And I really wouldn't mind doing another video like this for Drake's Fortune or Among Thieves, or even what's the Chloe one, The Lost Legacy. I would love to revisit that one for a video like this. It's been a while since I played those games, and it'd be really fun. But hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.